Alrighty, so I wanted to test out some gear, some new stuff that I've got, and I thought I'd do a quick guitar lesson to sort of show you a few things. Put it out on Facebook and sort of came up with the idea that people wanted to know about comping. So I thought I'd cover comping in Giant Steps because that was one tune that someone mentioned. So Giant Steps seems to be one of those tunes that people think is the Mount Everest that you have to try and conquer. It's not that hard if you have some kind of concept of how you're going to play the tune and what you're going to do when you comp behind the tune and behind soloists and so on. First thing you need to know is the basic chords. I'm not going to go over those too much. I'll just show you very quickly what they might be, and I'll post this to my Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/NickGranvilleMusic, you can get the diagrams there. But basically, it's all those types of voicings, you know, the stock standard type stuff. I'm not going to cover that so much today because there's been heaps done on that, and as I said, go to my Facebook page and check them out. But I'll give you a couple of things that I worked on that helped me develop this tune and to get better at comping underneath this tune. And one of the best things to do is to not move around so much. Like if I play those chords, there's a lot of jumping around. A better idea is to try and just limit yourself to just play in one position and see if you can still play all the chords. Make your chords kind of flow a little better. So for example, if I play B, D, G, so that was all kind of around there. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to play it up higher. For example, so this will be my B major, my G major, D, B7, and now I'm in a new position, so I'm going to make that my new position. Alright. So you can see that by doing that, I'm kind of limiting myself. I started off playing just here, the first lot, and then I did that one, and then I did this there. And so by playing just in one position, you're going to try and find the chords that kind of do it. And piano players do that. When they play a chord, they play it, and then they don't jump all the way down here. They'll play the chord and then they'll play something near it to get to the next chord, whereas guitar players tend to jump around a lot more and it sounds like it. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing along those same kind of lines you can do is to try and work on playing with the same top note. Now this gets you some really interesting voicings on Giant Steps. So I'm going to take a chord tone because that's an easy place to start. So here we have a B major 7, B, A sharp, D sharp and F sharp. I'm going to make the F sharp note the common note the whole way through. So all the chords have to have that on the top. So right, that's pretty straightforward. And then D7. But that voicing's really uninteresting, especially in a jazz tune. So make it D7 flat 5 or sharp 5. Or so bit more colourful. G major 7. Right, with the F sharp on the top, B7 sharp 5, and then here's where it gets interesting. We've got an E flat major chord, but the note is a sharp 9 or a flat 3, whichever way you want to look at that. So you end up with this. Right, so if I play that together. And so on and so on. Now some of these are going to sound a little whack, you're not necessarily going to use them, but it's a good exercise to do and it'll really help your comping come along. And of course, you know, any of the chords that don't necessarily work, you can either move up or down a note, and for that one particular instance. And with any chords, you should always be careful about the melody and make sure you're not clashing with that. Now, the melody could be the soloist, it could be the singer, it could be the actual tune being played by an instrumentalist. Whatever's playing the melody part, that's what you're there to accompany. So that's what comping is in its simplest. Now, of course, if you have So I had the 7 on the top, which is a B flat note, or A sharp, whichever way you want to look at it. And so on and so on. So you can see there that gives a whole different set of chords and different kind of sounds, and it'll make you kind of see how all these chords work together, and that's really what you're trying to achieve here. Another thing you can do is just play the top 4 strings. So take just the top 4 strings and play drop chords, for example, like drop 2s or drop 3s. But drop 2s might be this, for example. Alright, it's a B major 7 to D9. Alright, here's your first part. It's not really a drop 2, but you get the idea. It's a close voicing, but all the same, it sort of gets the same effect. But that's the top 4 strings, and that's going to make you play a certain way. When I comp, I don't tend to do any one of these things, and so in a lot of different contexts, it changes, but in a jazz kind of context, I don't tend to just play one type of comping. What I tend to do is to kind of go between all of these things that I've talked about today. But one of my favorite things to do, and generally a concept that I employ a lot, is to comp with just 3 notes or 4 notes. So I might play B major like that, and use that as kind of the meat of the comping, the bits that's really getting stuck in the meat and potatoes. And then I'll use the higher voicings as accents. So I'll give an example of that. So I'd use the lower chords kind of when I'm behind the melody, and then maybe in the gaps I would play the higher chords for it to accentuate, or bits I wanted to accentuate, and so on and so on. So that's sort of how I approach that. And that's a good way to approach comping. And the other thing to remember is you don't have to play every chord. A lot of times I'm guilty of this, and I'm sure we all are, but don't feel you have to play every chord. You know, it could be just like, instead of going, instead of that, what about just let a few chords go by? Let a few chords go by, maybe not play them, leave room and space. So that's always a good idea when it comes to comping and stuff. So if you go onto my Facebook page, you can get those basic diagrams. I've done them as just as a picture upload to under the lessons thing. If you like this, then feel free to share it, and keep in touch. You know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.